Jessica Condon. Throughout the Corps, we have heard Jessica speak on the topics of water pollution and her father. We have also learned that she loves cats, and she believes that being an individual is much more important than being a follower. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jessica.
Alright, this is unnerving, so let's all just suffer through it. Right. Imagine you feel fine one morning, but by the middle of the day, you're aching with fever, and by nightfall, you're dead. How did this happen? You were infected with the 1918 Spanish flu strain. The influenza epidemic of 1918 was one of the deadliest epidemics in history. What we need to know about the 1918 pandemic flu strain is what it was, what the symptoms included, and how it was treated back then. The flu pandemic of 1918 was one of the most devastating viral natural disasters in history. NCBI.gov, supported by the U.S. National Library of Medicine, published an article online in January 2005 that states that the flu pandemic was caused by an H1N1 virus that is similar to the one that the United States recently fought off. An article published on the Stanford.edu website written in February 2005 states that the Spanish flu pandemic killed between 20 and 40 million people. As stated by NCBI.gov, an estimated 600,000 people were killed in the United States alone. As referenced by archives.gov, copyright 2013, the pandemic killed 1/5 of the world's population. Now, it is usually spread through airfare from the United States, and keep in mind we were in World War I at this time. So it kind of spread to here, airfare to here. Obviously, it was like a big, world phenomenon. Like, it hit the King of Spain really bad here, and that's what it gave it its infamous Spanish flu name, even though it was spreading like wildfire everywhere. So, yeah. Let's see, let's get that. According to NPR.gov, copyright 2013, the Spanish flu didn't target the elderly and infants, but rather it targeted young and healthy adults. Now that you know more about what the disease is, the symptoms of this lethal flu will be enlightened upon. The symptoms of the pandemic's flu strain range from common cold to critical condition. According to flu.gov, supported by the United States Department of Health and Human Services, copyrighted 2013, the early symptoms were included such as cough, sore throat, and a dreaded headache that we've all experienced. As stated by the aforementioned, those who only suffered through these symptoms often made a full recovery. However, flu.gov goes on to state that some who recovered just as quickly relapsed into the same sickness that plagued them as before. According to an article printed in March 2005 published on the Johns Hopkins University website, the later symptoms of the flu included rib-cracking coughing spells and asphyxiation that was caused by blood in the lungs that basically caused the skin to turn like a dark blue like the night sky sometimes. The symptoms sound sickening, but there are some treatments involved in lessening the suffering of our patients here. Of course, the doctors back in the early 1900s had some way to treat their patients, otherwise they would have been out of the job. As referenced by flu.gov, doctors and practitioners used a variety of different remedies, such as Vicks Vapor Rub or other assorted pills. The aforementioned also stated that as to cure the deadly flu, these remedies were of little to no use. Some other methods were wrapping the sick in warm blankets in an attempt to sweat out the disease. Keep in mind, this was in 1918, they didn't have the best technology. Flu.gov, copyright 2013, goes on to state that several people claim to have found home remedies to the terrible virus, but in the end, they were known as hoaxes. Basically, when it came to the deadly influenza, doctors tried their best, but were in the end clueless. In recap, the flu pandemic was caused by an extremely lethal strain that killed millions of people. The symptoms were horrifying, and the treatments were just that, treatments, because no cures were ever produced. Now we all know more about the influenza pandemic of 1918, and just because it happened in 1918, does that mean it cannot make a second strike? Now think about that, be on the lookout for it, because danger will be coming at any strike. Thank you for your time.